All right, we're back and we're live. Ryder Cup 2023 with my good friend Jeff Feinberg. How you doing tonight, Jeff?
I am doing wonderful, Brian. It's Ryder Cup week. It's football. It's a great time.
It's a good time. Weather's starting to change. Hoodie weather, beanie season. I'm a little upset you're not wearing the famous beanie tonight, but it's
No,
all good. The outfit on Pat's show was great. I thought you looked
I
unbelievable
walked
in it.
right into. I'm a little older than you, Brian, so probably don't remember the Twin Towers and Akeem, the African Dream, like late '80s, really early '90s wrestling. But I walked right into that, wearing my Euro beanie, my Matt Sundin Sweden jersey. The internet is great. If you don't know what I'm talking about, someone watched the show and then posted a picture of me and Akeem, and you gotta own it.
Yeah, no, I commented on the beanie when you first ordered. I'm like, dude, that is a fire beanie. Like, it looks great. I'm not a Team Euro supporter, but that was a
Yeah,
good merch pickup. You have your good merch, and then you're posting today in your old US Ryder Cup Hazeltine. That's a great piece as well. So you got some good Ryder Cup
that was
merch going.
actually that was USA Paris. I know, not the
Got it.
greatest memory.
Okay.
I do have a Hazeltine pullover. Um, I like this event more than the Masters. That might be insane to people, but I swear to God, I'm a team sports guy. Like, I don't know about you, but like when I'm like 6, 7, like when I'm a really young kid, I'm not obsessed with golf. I found golf later. I'm obsessed with teams and team sports.
Yeah.
So I'm not here to stand for live. I think that's kind of stupid. But the Ryder Cup is perfection.
Yeah.
Brian, we see these guys miss putts for 50K, 80K, 150K, and they don't flinch. They don't flinch. The Ryder Cup, Rory has a tough week. He's balling. Cantley's got beer, like he got double fisting in his back pocket. Like, I'm just saying, we get we got to see these guys. We got to meet them more than we ever are allowed inside in terms of their true personalities, I feel. So I eat it all up. I love it. I think it's going to be such a great week. The competition, it's going to be on a 10.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited for it. And the Ryder Cup, always good memeage, like a lot of good content will come up from it. And again, we grind every single week. We go on a podcast and we talk about the Sanderson Farms and the John Deere Classic every week. So it's nice to kind of change it up. It's nice to have a change of pace. And I think the whole process is great. Like, I think it's so unlike anything in golf and in other sports where they pick a team of the best players and it actually matters. It's not just a Sunday night all-star game where they put up 300 points each and people actually care who the picks are and there's snubs. Like, if someone's not first team all defense, no one actually gives a fuck. But when Keegan Bradley is left off the team and Adrian Moran and people care about this stuff, there's nothing else like that in sports.
No, it truly is one of a kind. But here's sort of the problem, and why I think a lot of people get so angry in the selection process, or their opinions are so filled. Because I so often say these are like all-star teams. They are
Yeah.
all-star teams. You're on your warm-up jacket. I remember when Ray Allen would wear a shooter, the warm-up jacket for the all-star game, and you'd have a patch for like every year you made the team. Like, that's
Yeah.
the coolest shit. I think they do have it with stars, or maybe on their golf bags. You see it with, at least I know for Europe. But my point being is, we refer to these as the all-star teams, the
Yeah.
all-pro teams. But the minor hiccup there, which ends up being a major hiccup, is when we want a second baseman to make the all-star team, we want it to be the most deserving player.
Yeah.
With this, it's not necessarily the most deserving player, because it means so much and because winning is so important. And you're actually trying to build a team that, I don't want to get corny because it's golf, but like you want these guys to walk through a wall for one another or something when the going gets tough. And that requires some finagling to who deserves it, who
Yeah.
should be my last man. Yeah, you said it. The process of picking the teams, the arguing on Twitter for months on out, at Christmas time, trying to debate it and then watching it all play out slowly by slowly. Anytime it's like a joke, but it's like a quarter serious.
Yeah.
Anytime someone does something of prominence who isn't a member of the teams, it's like on the radar,
And
on the
then
radar.
after, if anyone wins that was remotely in the conversation, they were snubbed.
If
Like they were
Sahith did
snubbed.
that, yeah, if Sahith won 2 months ago, like I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know,
No,
but like it'd be like, okay, Captain Johnson, like
yeah, no, the
better be.
funniest part of all of it was after Lucas Glover won the Wyndham, the Ryder Cup US, like I follow them, they always post, and if American wins, and I like commented under it, eye emoji, like potential pick wins next week, and it's just like the best debate in the entire world. Should Lucas Glover
Yeah.
be on the team? So we still got a little bit to go. Friday morning or Friday night.
The content is
For
so
us,
deep, Brian. Not to
yeah,
interrupt you, the YouTube page, the Ryder Cup YouTube page is straight fire. I
that's
like the
good.
hyperbole of all these vignettes, but even the cornball shit, like
Yeah.
Luke Donald walking us through the
Eat
teamwork
it
and
up.
the locker
Eat it
room.
up.
Eat it up for like, oh, like I love it. I don't know, man. Honestly, I don't even watch like mic'd up Charger stuff. I'm too busy watching a YouTube channel. I am too busy watching the Ryder Cup channel. When they post stuff, I'm a sucker for it all.
Yeah. No, it's good. I'm excited for it. So, you're a busy guy. You got some kids. What is your schedule for viewing? Like, what are you doing? Will you be up? Are you in the Eastern time zone?
Yeah, so
Okay,
I
so
am
will you
Eastern
be
time
up
zone.
at 1:15 on Friday night?
Okay, I think I'm gonna give her. I think I'm
Okay.
gonna wake up. Maybe I'll try to get to bed early. I'll try to be up maybe for like 3 a.m. I
Okay, and
think.
then go from there.
And then like the whole kit and caboodle, probably the 3 a.m. for both the wake ups. My head is on a swivel for Sunday. You mentioned being a dad, being an average dad, an okay dad. I like to, it's just like common sense. I'm not an idiot. I like to be involved on Sunday morning. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, because I'm going to disappear.
Yes.
And maybe I want to disappear like for a long time. And there's mutual
Who the
understanding there.
Chargers
The
got this
mutual
week?
understanding is, I'm picking up the heat Sunday morning, like just hanging with the kids, maybe doing like whatever. So I've got to get proactively plan that. Maybe get them out of sleepover at my folks
Yep.
because this thing right into football. I'm so happy the Chargers don't play at 1 o'clock.
Who do
That
they
would suck.
have? Who do they have?
They have the Raiders at 4.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever. It's its own thing. But I'm just happy it's not at 1 o'clock. I assume NBC desperately wants to be off the air by 1 o'clock. They're
Yeah,
not
I would assume.
idiots.
Yeah.
They know we've got. I mean, I'll watch through the end, but a lot of people that just like, is America winning? Will America win? Is it close? They're not going to watch the moment it gets to 102. Like they don't
Yeah.
care anymore.
Yeah.
As goal, that's just the reality of it. And there's an England football game. I don't mean soccer. I mean the NFL in England. It's Jags
Got it.
Falcons, but it's still like a heavy load of Sunday content. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'll be watching.
Yeah, I'm pumped. I took off work Friday. I think I'm gonna be up I'm gonna watch every second of it that I can. I have no qualms about it. I
If
could
I'm not
not be
at
more.
Bethpage at 23, like consider that I have not done life properly, that I'm
Yeah.
not writing the scripts of my own life.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
No,
and it's
Beth
like
Page will be great.
as obsessed I am with this event and sort of being a neutral, like going with wherever the wind is blowing for me. I can't know. Bethpage is probably the closest I will ever
Yeah.
be located to a Ryder Cup. Again, if I'm not there, like call me out
Okay.
on it.
Will do.
Internet, everybody, epic golf fail. Hopefully we're
Yeah.
all still internet friends and maybe
Yeah.
we could do a content house, but that I don't even care about that.
The
I just
content
want to
house will be
go
my
to the
parents' house.
Ryder Cup
Will
at
be.
Bethpage. That's a life mandate. I'm not cool enough to travel to Europe, but
Yeah.
that's mandatory.
Well, the thing about the Ryder Cup is that going actually sucks, and it's like a
Uh,
horrible viewing experience because they sell so many tickets and there's only 4 matches going on at a
oh, you're
time and you
right.
can't
Yeah,
see
I didn't
anything.
think
That's
about that.
what everyone has said is that
No, that makes
it's fun.
sense.
It's fun to go once and like that's it. You'll never go again. So that's what I've heard, but you're more than welcome to stay at my couch. On my
How far are
couch,
you from
whatever.
Bethpage? You're close. You play
10,
it.
10 minutes.
Oh my
So
god.
yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be fun. But I'm not like I have to be there all 3 days. Like I might be like, I'll go
No,
spend
but
this
you'll
thing.
get a day, but like a practice round. You'll hit up the merch tent. Maybe you'll go for
Yeah,
Friday, and then
yeah,
yeah. No, that
yeah,
makes
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So here we
So
are, Brian. I gotta say, I'm jealous.
okay.
Like I wish I had a side. I joked with Mayo that USA Golf after say like the Chargers and the like my baseball team, if I was American, USA Golf would be an integral part of my fandom.
Yeah,
And I would be mad at the Americans on the internet, like not ride or dying this thing with us.
yeah,
But I'm not. I'm not. And I try to be neutral despite having favorites. I wish I had like the like I'll have money on the line, but I enjoy golfers on both sides. There's not going to be a result where I'm like I'm upset. Like
yeah.
if the Chargers lose, like it doesn't work like that. But if I was American, it would work like that. I'd
Yeah,
be
I
furious.
think the mix of having a lot of money on one side, or like if you're an American, you have a lot of money on the American, you lose the money, and then you have to deal with Europeans shitting on you. Like it's double. You would never get shit on if one of the
I lose
guys
money
you
on the
bet on.
Chargers every
Yeah,
week, and then I go on the internet and people shit on me for being a
yeah.
Chargers fan. So I don't. That wouldn't like that's what I
That's
do.
normal for you. But yeah, that's what I'm worried about this week, to be honest. Like the pain of losing money and then also seeing like everyone that bet Europe and then all the Europeans that I've told to like eat beans, like shit on me. Like I don't want that to happen, but I really wouldn't be. I'm surprised. But let's backtrack a little bit. So 2 years ago, I just was doing the pod and you were like, I was like nervous to have you on. You came on for the Ryder Cup at Whistling Straits because that summer leading up, you were nonstop. America is going to destroy Europe. It won't close. I have like multiple bands on it, like college kids' tuition
Yeah,
funds.
I said
It's
like if you
you were
needed a new
all over it.
dishwasher, if you wanted to send the kids to camp, if you were helping, if you needed a home reno, like just 3-day loan, you'll be okay. I said you might not see me again if it didn't
Yeah,
happen, and it didn't. Like it was the shit show that I.
yeah.
Yeah, thank
So
you
you
for
called that
remembering
one
that. I
pretty
wish it
good.
was a behind the gas station brown bag meetup. Like I couldn't get that sort of money in on the internet, if that's what we're
Got
talking
it.
about.
No, that's vibey. So I remember I was like, gotta have Jeff on, gotta talk Ryder Cup. And now, 2 years later, we're back, and you are supporting the Europeans. You have been Vic lapping the CLV, the professional gamblers. You already won
Yeah.
the Rob Pizzolas of the world. It all that matters is if you get CLV. Nothing else matters. If you get CLV, you won. Um you're on Europe at plus 180. Another very sharp play like it was 2 years ago when you were all over US.
Yeah, the line moved there, not quite like this. It was sharp because they won. I'm picking on other people, not so much Rob. And I get it.
Okay.
I'm making the joke. I get it. If you get the better end of the line every time, you have a way better chance of losing less money. Like I'm not an idiot.
Yeah.
But I just the way some of these professionals talk about their point and a half on an NFL game, and then it only takes one freaking holding or bad PI call. You watch those games live on a betting thing, those point and a half means dog shit. And I'm not saying
Yeah.
that. I don't mean it like that. Like it's not going to come into play, but it comes, it goes, it's given, it's taken nonstop. And these people think they rule the world because they get it. I don't know, man. It's football. See a dude fumble when he shouldn't. Like, good luck beating in-game variance in the NFL. Yeah, sorry for that tangent. Um, quality numbers. Quality numbers. And while people were watching Brian Harman victory lap on a Friday, winning by like a touchdown, I said I'd seen enough. And this is no disrespect because it could bite me in the ass in the end. But for me, and what was in my head of what the US team should be, and as I'm sitting there watching and knowing like Ricky's now on this team, Wyndham's now on this team, Brian Harmon's now on this team,
Brooks is
and
on the team.
they all might be perfect fits for the actual venue and they all might be perfect. But in my head, I had this moment like, this is not the U. The books are still looking at this team like JT's in form. Finau is this world beater that I know you make fun of, but you know, he still was. And I was adamant for a while he'd be on the team just for his vibes.
Yeah, same.
You know, and his dancing and his ping pong. Like he does everything that a Team USA guy needs. Friends with everybody. But no, that fell apart. Cam Young didn't like take a step that we all probably thought was certainly coming at Christmas. Who's won? And this is like winning. Like I like Tommy Fleetwood and Victor and Hatton. They haven't won anything this year. But I just mean like wins. Like who's won on America since the Masters? I mean, like, I don't know. It doesn't feel like any of these guys have actually won golf tournaments. I don't know. There are a lot of layers. And then obviously my infatuation with Ludwig and then Victor becoming a top 3 player.
Yes.
Like
that, like
that,
you bet it. And then it was like,
yeah. I don't know what actually truly flipped the line.
I don't know.
Certainly wasn't me. And I don't say that as like even a half joke. People like on the internet, like, look, your influence. I'm like, buddy, no one gives a shit. I am the most square better out there. No, and that's part of my professional's joke is that I'm a square.
Yeah.
Like I know I'm a sophisticated square because I know when I'm being a square. So I like to say that gives me a level of sophistication to my squaredom, Brian, but I still know I'm a straight square. But yeah, I don't know. I'm surprised the line moved where it did.
I mean, I was just looking. Europe has now become the favorite on a few books. Absolutely. But I think, in my opinion, it's more of a reflection of how ridiculous the line was 3-4 months ago than Hovland being the best player in the world.
But I didn't think the line was that crazy at Christmas. Like at Christmas,
yeah.
I thought I was like, US is going to win their first Ryder Cup in Europe in forever. I don't know any way that could not happen.
Yeah.
And then the golf season happened. Yeah. And somewhere in there, I mentioned, I part of me was like, hell, not only do I not think they're going to win it back, it's time for me to bet the other side. Yeah, I don't know if I hadn't made a bet yet.
Yeah. What would you think right now if you hadn't made a bet? Gun to your head, you had to bet $500 on it.
Because like people make these jokes, I could bet US and guarantee a free roll. Like I don't care enough. Yeah, I'll lose enough on Sunday NFL that whatever. I picked a side here. I'm going to ride or die with it. I would be picking exact scores: 15-13 USA, 15-13 Europe, trying to just call a close one. Maybe this team wins by 1-3. That's why like 1-3 might even be too many. I don't know if that's an actual option, but because if you're getting essentially even money for them to win, no, sorry, I'm an idiot. It's just not going to be a blowout. How could it be a blowout? I'd be shocked if it's a blowout.
I think that's the general kind of consensus because there hasn't been really a close Ryder Cup since Medina, and there has been a close Ryder Cup in Europe since I think 2010. The one in Europe when Hunter Mahan duffed that chip. So it's kind of been a lot of blowouts recently. But I think that Europe having the home advantage and US being a little bit more talented and not having Tiger, Phil, Bubba, and Webb on the team, I think it just makes it a dead coin flip. I truly believe that you cannot, right now, I don't think you can say one team is absolutely 100% going to win this with confidence like you were at Whistling Straits. In my opinion, it is so close, and I a couple months ago, I was very confident in USA, and I thought I was gonna bet couple like a grand on it.
At least you waited out. You waited.
Now I'm kind of like, all right, I'm not gonna bet that much on it
Yeah.
because I can absolutely 1000% see Europe winning. I'm betting US. I am kind of deciding about how exactly I'm going to do it, but I really don't think there's an argument to be made that any team is a lock and that it's worth investing any more than you're comfortable losing. I think that's gambling 101, but I don't think this is a take a loan out situation on either side.
No, 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 no. There's no, like I even said, is people like, there's never a plan. There's never been a plan for this to be a win or lose like brown bag
Yeah.
event.
Yeah.
This is, yeah, you can get your bet in at any book because I'm not betting that much for a book to
Yeah.
say no. Not that I normally bet enough for a book to say no, but yeah, this is going to be close. Like I said, the competition is going to be just off the charts. The only thing, honestly, in sports that compares to it in terms of how much it seems like the people care for. I mean, what money are they make? They make the TV money. That's what
Yeah.
I feel like I've read. They all split the TV money, which I'm sure is a ton or a share of the TV money, because I'm sure it goes to Gulf Europe and USA, would be like Latin American or Dominican, Spanish speaking countries in the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah.
Like that's the only sort of thing where I feel like you see that sort of emotion for guys that are playing for free,
Yeah.
or like Olympic hockey.
Yeah.
Like that's it. That's it. So this is like top of the charts.
Yeah.
And everything about it. I've said this before, Brian. Like win-lose, I don't think there's a chance we get this insane USA presser. If you're at, I've been down rabbit holes. I'm ever like sometimes YouTube, I'm obsessed like everyone in the world. I'll go watch that presser like just randomly. It has been like, it is favored. It is, no, it is. If that happened today with where golf like Twitter is, even from 2018 to 2013, that post national, like full team scrum,
Yeah.
it'd be like a movie.
Yeah.
Honestly, or go look it up on YouTube. You've all seen it before, but go watch it again. It'll get you excited for the week. Although you won't get anything like that. There's too much friendship involved now in USA golf.
Yeah. No, and like Phil shitting on Top Watson after 2014.
It's
like
the
there's going to be some good content.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant. 2014, but I go back to 2018 too because that was all of them.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to make the case for US just a little bit. Here, my thing about it is that I really think that there's a lot to be said that this is the first team that doesn't have the old guys, doesn't have the old baggage, that has plagued the USA team in years past. I think this is a very cohesive young group of golfers that didn't, get blown out at Oakland Hills or just get destroyed overseas and absolutely blow the biggest Ryder Cup lead ever at Medina. I think that counts for a lot. And I truly do think that in 2018, this team, they were great and they were super hot. I think right after the Tour Championship, Tiger being so dead. Like Phil Mickelson was on that team. Bubba Watson was on the team. This wasn't that long ago. And these are guys that have completely cycled out. And I think something really changed at Whistling. And I personally think, obviously, US has better depth. They're 12 guys better than Europe's 12th guy. But I think with the way this course sets up and how tough of a walk it is and how it's actually going to be hot and how usually the team that wins singles wins the Ryder Cup, I think that really sets up for the US to dominate in singles because I think the person I'm least confident in singles that I really can't make a great case for beating whoever, obviously like Rory or Rahm, is Ricky. Ricky's probably the guy I'm least confident in singles, but Harman, I think, will win a Sunday singles match. Wyndham, I think, is going to have a breakout. Homa, Colin, like even Brooks, like Burns winning match play. Like I think all of these guys have such strong cases, and I trust our top guys to um perform and take on and beat a few of one of Rory, Rahm, or Hovland. So I think longevity wise and really peaking for singles, knowing that the Europeans are really going to have to trot out a lot of the same guys, unless of course Rose and Lowry and Fitz just go on a heater and turn into Fleetwood in 2018, and they could really lean on those guys. I think it's been really hard to go 5 matches, and you saw it with Rahm at Whistling. He looked unstoppable for 4 days and was exhausted by singles, and I think that might happen in Europe. So I just want to give this new group of guys a chance. The old guard is out. It's a new, young, cohesive group. Scotty Scheffler's got a new fucking putting coach. He looks way better. I don't know. I truly, this is their best shot, and I just want to give them a go. I don't think there's value in the line. I don't think it's a mortgage play hammerlock. I can absolutely 1,000,000% see Europe winning, but I just want to give this group of golfers a shot overseas.
Yeah, I mean, it's a mandatory bet event, even if you're going to bet it at like a mid-level NFL game stake, because as
Yeah.
you joked off the top, we got to pick 50-1 guys every week.
Yeah.
Annoying. This is us like golf guys make it. It's like a football game.
Yeah.
Like pick a side, two sides. That goddamn tie. People are like Bet USA on the other side. I'm like that tie,
dude. It's like I know I'm not. Solheim Cup was not getting loads of action, but sportsbooks cleaned up. They can't have a better result than a tie in the Ryder Cup. If this Ryder Cup ties, the books will make so much money. I don't even want to think about it. And to be completely honest, I could totally see this ending in a tie. Like I think a team will win by at most 3 points.
I'll be so distraught if it's a tie.
But like you'll still have the CLV.
And then the European girls just set the precedent. Like if you tie and retain, you got to celebrate like the US gets to celebrate like hooligans with a tie. No, I'm not saying what the European girls do was right. I say you take the tie, you shake hands, and you bring the trophy home.
Yeah.
Like I didn't this retain and like we party like we just I don't know won the World Series.
Yeah.
I don't really understand that.
Yeah, I mean Medina, not to get all in the weeds, but Medina, Tiger missed like a 4-foot putt to like actually lose it, but they all celebrated when Keimer clinched the putt that they could tie. So Medina easily could have been a tie there.
And okay. I do agree you have to give credit, or maybe like I'll give a check mark. The system has been fleshed out. Seems like it's a total what I previously thought was a bit of a new era. Like, no, now it seems like it's a totally new guard is here and has begun. I agree that's probably worth something, and you can maybe argue that even in a vice captaincy way, it's not good for Europe that there's no Sergio or Poulter or GMAC. Rory puts a lot on himself, but Rory in every past Ryder Cup just got to play as like the best player on the team, not having to take leadership response. Like, I don't mean Rory's not a leader. I sense he's a true leader. And people follow him. Even though I make my, he's a flip-flopper. He's done that on everything. Politician at its finest. But Rory now has to not only perform, but he has to lead because Poulter isn't there. Sergio isn't there.
Stenson's not there.
Stenson isn't there. And maybe that's, Rose can do that too, but Rory's got to pick that up. And as much as Rahm wants to wear it via Seve, via Sergio, for Vamoose. It's probably and I don't doubt that he can't. There's a lot of change here, but that's good.
Yeah.
It seems like great change. The back of the European team, like that seems like fun change for
No,
whatever it's worth, Brian. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah, I'm curious to see about Rory. I just don't know. Obviously, he wants to win, but he's been a part of so many winning Ryder Cups. I don't know how much like losing and whistling straights like he's like gnawing at the bit to get this done. I'm not saying he doesn't care about this,
Yeah, but
but I don't think this is like absolutely would change his career in
no,
any
wouldn't change
regard.
his career. But here's the thing with Rory, Brian, that we call him out on a lot. He has like in his mind, because he can't get over this drought, he has made the FedEx Cup like way more important than any of
Yeah,
us think it is,
yeah,
because he's got to like, no, I had a good season. Like Rory does not do, sure, he's probably going to go to overseas or Middle East, whatever, at some point. But Rory, nothing matters again till the Masters. Like
yeah,
it all gets laid out here for a guy like Rory. Now it doesn't mean he's playing 5 sessions, but I think as golf fans who are listening, they care enough to be watching your show. You understand what I like. This is a true emptying of the tank.
yeah,
And maybe you could say that for other guys because they don't need to play anything important again until the Masters. So who gives a shit
yeah,
about wearing yourself down? But I believe Rory will literally go to beyond like zero in the tank.
yeah,
Not to say others won't, but yeah, and I don't know what I'm kind of equally making fun of those tears after like it's like Lee Westwood. Like it's not your last time, man. Like why
yeah.
were you so emotional about I don't know.
So,
Um
I want to ask you a couple things. So, first, U.S. side, who do you think is the most important golfer, like top six, and then who do you think can be the most important of the bottom six and really change the trajectory of this Ryder Cup? Like, who do you think it hinges on, and who do you think could be super important? Good guy, bad guy.
from a good guy, I mean, the thing is, they're so deep. So, like, doesn't if Scheffler's not the greatest, doesn't matter in a way. Like, if Europe, if some of the top guys aren't the greatest, um, I trust Cantley and Sanders so much. I'm gonna say Scheffler. I'm
Yeah,
gonna say you're the best player on the team. You're the best player in the world, essentially, for so much of a recent time being. Speaking of an era that we're through with USA, Brian, on top of that, that was an era of guys like that didn't care. It just wasn't built in to like
yeah,
care about the Ryder Cup. Tiger and Phil never made it a priority that the top European players always have. And that's changing clearly with the Americans. So I think it's important that Scheffler becomes a force, like a true Ryder Cup
yes,
force. I think that flips the whole thing on its head.
yeah.
I truly do. Is Morikawa on the back end or the front end? Which
No,
part of the
I would say Morikawa is good because I think so. Like, who's like like who do you think will be the breakout of the captain's picks?
I love
Or
Burns.
no, not captain's picks. Okay, so Burns is your lower end guy. You think could have a really good week.
Yes, he's the lower end guy I think could have a really good week. I'll use this opportunity to pivot and say I will think I've lost all my Europe bet if I see this happen on Friday morning. I don't know if I captained the American team. I've picked on him in props because I don't think Zach Johnson has the smarts or the guts. I would pair Brooks Koepka with Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah.
And if they did that, Brian, I would think I lost every single bet. I mean, like the specific Europe to
Yeah.
win bet. Scotty needs I don't know what it is. There needs a kick in the ass there. And
Yeah.
Brooks in a competition. I'm fading Brooks this week because I
Okay.
think he could be lost in the mix. And I don't know if you want to deep dive it, we can. If they pair him with Scotty, I'll be scared shitless. Not
Okay,
my
no,
Brooks
and the
bets would
thing
be
about
dead. My
Brooks,
Brooks unders, my Brooks fades would be dead before
okay,
the event starts. Before I go to bed on Thursday, if that's on the sheet. But I would also think that that's what I think Scotty needs to be turned into a monster.
yeah, I agree with you, and I personally would you need to pair Scotty with someone else other than Burns. I'm not saying they can't play together, but they need to split them up for a little bit. You can't pair Hovland with Bobby Mack. Like that would be the equivalent in my opinion. Burns is way better than Bobby Mack, but you have to utilize your best player in a little bit better way of someone that I don't think Sam Burns is going to lay an egg, but he absolutely could. I agree with you about Scotty. I think if Scotty starts rolling putts, if something happened with Phil Kenyon, I think if Scotty becomes a menace like he did in Whistling Straits, I think it should scare you up. And then I think Max Homa
Yeah.
is going to have an amazing week, in my opinion. I think Max is absolutely built for this. I think he's such a talented golfer. He's without a doubt a top 10 player in the world, has zero weakness, excellent driver, great long iron player, and he's a great putter. The dude, when he's on putting well, he just absolutely tears it up. And I think him and Colin have the potential to be a big
Mollywood.
force.
They
And
could be
if
the Mollywood of
absolutely
this
of
week for
just
USA. Absolutely.
everyone's like no one was focused on them in 2018 and no one was focused on DJ Colin in 2021. Like I just kind of see it as there's always a breakout pairing that just absolutely pounds. And my pick would be Max and Colin. I think either format, alt shot, I think they'll be really, 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 really good. So those are kind of my two for Europe. Europe, it's tough. I honestly don't even think Rory's the most in player. I would say it's Hovland. I think if Hovland and Aberg, I'm scared. I feel like everyone other than Cantley and Xander, I feel like you have to make Hovland, Ludwig kind of favorites against most American teams, right?
I'm such a dud. I live such a, the things I care about are so little. In my head, I play this game of like, what will hypothetical odds be if like this is the singles
Yeah.
matchup or this is a pairing or JT and Spieth. I definitely had like, what will the odds be if it's JT and Spieth for it's like anything Hovland or like even the days the rosters are final. I'm like, do you think Spieth JT would even be favored versus Ludwig in a head to head? I'm like, nah, I don't think you would. But then I'm like, yeah, you could be crazy. So yeah, I think about all sorts of weird shit like that. I don't know what the odds will be. I'm on a lot. People they call it ladder plays when you like take a player and you like do yardage props and you go up. Well, I'm pretty much on a Ludwig ladder here, Brian. And I'll either feel really stupid or really smart before I go to bed on Thursday. I made the bets expecting him to be paired with Hovland, with Rory, with something like that, which leads the way for him to be part of a superpower team through the week. If he doesn't and they want to slow roll him, then I'll lose those bets, but that's a chance that I have taken. So the ladder starts with top European rookie plus 165.
I mean, yeah.
That seems so. I feel like I'm being tricked. I feel
Your
like
books
I'm
are giving
being
out free
tricked.
money. Books are giving out free money,
Yeah.
everybody.
I mean, no disrespect to any of them, but plus 165 for that's the only Ludwig prop I made this actual week. The other ones I've been sitting on for a couple. Top overall rookie 475 5-1, top and top captains wild card 12-1. So that's my Ludwig ladder. We'll see. I hope it comes true. It would be so. I don't want American golf fans to like snarl at him or like just not hate him, but even in the moment.
No, I think it's gonna be great. Honestly, I'm scared of him. Like I wish, you know how you were like, being a Euro backer, like you hopes like you would be pissed about a pick or want someone to be picked for your team.
Yeah,
If I
it's
was
like you want them to punt on 4th and 2 and not go for it because I bet
exactly.
like no, you have the please punt, don't go. Oh
Yes.
shoot,
If I was as a USA backer, I would have preferred they not pick Ludwig because I think he's going to be great, and especially when he's playing with the best golfer in the world right now, Hovland. Like that would be a pretty formidable pair. I'm a little bit scared of them.
What do you think
To be
about
honest,
Brooks? Am I gonna lose money? Forget the no points. That's like a wild card 40-1. I've bet him. I've laid minus 175, Brian, that he gets under 2.5 points.
I don't know. I think that no, I think he's going to play well. I really do. I don't think
How
he's going to
much
be.
is he
I
gonna
don't think he's going to
play?
be DJ in 2021, but I don't think he's going to
Do
go
you think he
0 and
plays
2.
4 times?
No.
So then I love my under 2.5. If he's
What book has the under bet points?
that was on that was on
That was on
Bodog, but
Bodog?
that was on Bodog and the 40-1. I don't know if they still have it because they may have moved markets because the 40-1 no points has already moved to 25. So I'm sure they moved his total, but I would tell you I'd play Brooks under it too.
Yeah.
I don't know. Shit.
I don't have Bovada because that's the market I want. Like I want
But
the
other books have the over unders. Bet 365 has it.
Oh, fuck yeah. Fuck yes.
What are you looking
Okay.
at?
But 365 does it. So it's over or exactly and under. Yeah, that's a bit of a tougher market.
Oh, that's bull. Bet 365. These European any book that was born in Europe, they think these ties are acceptable markets because they're soccer fans. We don't accept that. If I tie, I want to push money back.
So I got to check out Bovada, but honestly, the guys I'm high on this week, I think Harman will win his Sunday singles unless he goes up against like a top 4. Harman will.
What's your dream Harman single? Like, what are you frothing to bet him at? Because if he gets
like Rose,
yeah, but Harman
like he'll probably
Rose, Harman's the favorite. What do you think you're laying there?
Harman is not the favorite against Rose.
Pick him.
If Harman is the favorite against Rose, then USA should win easily. Like Harman is the lowest man on the totem pole. He's the one with the lowest over-unders and has the longest odds to win the most points. And he could be easily considered as the weakest player. So if he's if he's a favorite against like a top 7 European, then theoretically on paper,
that's a Harman versus anyone in the back 7, probably outside of back 6 of anyone in the back 6 of talent on Europe, and we'll put Ludwig as like a asterisk 7th man, kind of. He's a super wild card in every sense of the word, I think. Although, it's a pressure putt and he's never played in a major, and I believe that's kind of a real thing to be worried about, but situations aren't perfect. Harman isn't that big of an underdog or an underdog at all versus anyone on the back half of
Europe. I use this into segue to something? Then if I'm thinking in my head that on a normal week on a PGA Tour, I bet $500 on outrights. I don't give a fuck if I don't hit an outright. I do it every single week. I don't care about losing $500. So I'm at least betting $500 on the side. Why wouldn't I bet $500 on US to win Sunday singles, where I think they have a massive advantage given that they're not going to have to utilize their guys as much as Europe? Their back end talent is way better. Bobby Mack and Nikolai Hogard are not winning their Sunday singles match. We have top guys that can easily beat their top 3. In my opinion, US to win Sunday singles is more of a lock than for them to win the Ryder Cup. And that's kind of how I feel right now, because I think Europe's top 8, if they put out this group, RB posted, our good friend, Rory Lowry, Hovland Aberg, Rom Hatton, Fleetwood Straka, or like Fleetwood Rose or Fleetwood Fitz, like Those are really, really good pairings. But I don't think that they can win Sunday singles. I don't. I
Okay,
truly do not
so
believe Europe can win Sunday singles.
those are all very fair points, and I think that's normally the thing. Like singles is always an advantage for the Americans because they're deeper and there's not an ability to rest or hide anything. It's everyone is out.
And like you
But
just said, using Harman as an example, if Harman's a favorite against the bottom six,
yeah, I get it. No one, I know what you're trying to say. That, like, why should this be such a debate? Why does everyone love Europe? Like, there's 6 guys on Europe that couldn't sniff the US team. I'm not naive enough to not know that, even as I stand for Europe. And but I do get your point also, which I don't think you mentioned, is if Europe does want to go balls to the wall with their elite players, then there becomes the fatigue for Sunday. And we've seen that there's enough history in the Ryder Cup to show when you go all out, you are tired on Sunday. It's not
yeah,
just the Rahm example. There's countless examples of how that has come into play. And that's something that Donald would have to consider. The only counter I have to you knocking the back end is, I don't know, man, like golf single days are weird. And
yeah,
two of the guys that you are like poo pooing, respectfully poo pooing, which you are, I'm not knocking your poo poo of them, but they won at this golf course. So if
yeah,
there's like a happy place for Nikolai Højgaard or Bobby Mack, it's a golf course when they walk
yeah,
on the property. Like they won here. They won on this setup. Not this exact setup, but I assume the whole rotation. Like this is a place where they go. So that would be the knock, but I can't dispute the point that in the same way people believe that betting Europe session 1 in that Friday format as Donald's, you assume they'll go all, not that the US won't go all out. There's a lot of logic to why it makes sense to be betting US to win singles blindly before the event.
yeah.
I'll be out, dude. My singles car, I'm gonna have like
Remember
out of
that
the 12
guy hit the par?
matches,
The guy picked
I'll
the
have at
parlay
least I'll have at least a bet on 6. If you just set a line on how many singles matches I bet, geez,
eight
the
and a
6
half.
would be too low. 6, like, because six is a guarantee.
Yeah.
7, probably the line would at least be 6.5 or 7, and I'll
Yeah.
probably
So,
bet more.
Jeff, what do you think about? Let's say I have $500 to bet solely on a side that props, whatever. Would you? Do you think I should bet 500 on US to win, 500 on US Sunday singles, or 250 on both? What would you think on that? Bias aside.
Probably 250 on both. I don't know if that's what like the smartest math guy would say is the right play, but
Because
as
some
like dude at the casino, that's what
no,
I would
because
do.
there's a stat 11 out of the last 12 singles
Win the
day
Ryder
winner
Cup.
won the Ryder Cup. And I don't think Europe has a shot if they're down going into Sunday singles.
I don't like down what? Down a point? Down a
No,
point
like
and a
if they're
half?
down more than 3 points.
Okay, sure. Um
We'll see. We'll run some numbers, but I think I'll probably do 250 on both. I don't know. But my gut is telling me I feel more strongly about US winning Sunday singles than um
do you have
than
an
winning the whole
opinion on
thing.
top overall or anything like that?
I think it's pretty popular, but gun to my head, I would say Cantlay and Hovland
Yeah.
because
Cantlay Shaw. I mean, for me,
I,
it'd be
I prefer
Schauffele, but
Cantlay over Xander. I think Cantlay, I'm nuking his Sunday singles if he's not against top 3. I really do think he's just going to pound on Sunday singles. And I don't know if Xander will. And European, I don't know. I mean, Hovland, I don't have to tell you, but in my opinion, he's the best golfer in the world. He's maybe a step below ball striking Scheffler, but it's not that far off. And he can actually fucking putt. So that's kind of where I'm at with Hovland. So you can Vic Lap that one as well. But I think like people I'm high on Homa. I'm high on Harmon for however much he plays, if he plays 2 matches, and honestly, I'm high on the Colin and Homa pairing. And then on the Europe side, I don't know. I don't know exactly what the pairings will be, but to be honest, I think Hovland and Aber could be a real problem. I don't trust Lowry. I think it could be a situation him paired with Rory that Lowry really drags him down. And Rom Hatton, I think, could be great as well. But that's kind of where I'm at personally. And I truly believe Scheffler, you can't he can't be with Burns every session. If he is and they lose, I would be pissed at ZJ in my opinion.
If I got to make the lineup, I'd have Hovland with Ludwig, like a lot of people want and have speculated. I would have Hovland with Rom. I'd have Hovland with Rom or Hatton with Rom, like a lot
Yeah.
of people have speculated. I would put Fleetwood with Fitzpatrick
Yeah.
and try to just get the most out of your
Like that
talent.
is so good. That is
And then
like
I would ask
that
Rory.
is
I
such
would
a good four.
and
That is
Rory
such a
would
good
get
four
a
team.
pick. I'd
Lowry.
honestly, if I was Luke Donald, I would let Rory literally pick. Like,
And
these are
then
my other 3 pairings. You have these other 5 guys. You could tell me who you want to go with, and we'll start preparing that guy mentally to go with you.
like and in my opinion, I think it will be Scheffler, Burns, JT, Spieth, Xander, Cantlay, Homa, Colin. I'm so confident in Xander and Cantlay and Homa and Colin, but truly we don't I think JT's back in form. And I think they're very, very good
That's the X
together.
factor, man. If they
But
get going,
I'm not waking up no matter who any of those 4, no matter who of those 4 of Europe they play, I'm not like, yo, I'm nuking Spieth and JT. I'm just not confident, and I'm also just not super confident in the Scheffler Burns pairing. I'm just not.
I'll
So
be
that I
honest.
kind of think it's a wash day one. I think it's pretty equal. Maybe
Listen,
slide edge to Europe.
I agree with JT being there. I would have brought him in the sense of being a 12th man, and you bring your talent that's apparently a team fit. But as much as I say that, Brian, I am going to step in front of that pairing. I don't care what, unless it ends up being like the muck bottom barrel European draw. I will step in front of Spieth and JT. I will. It is. I shouldn't, because it's probably crucial to winning my overall Europe bet, is that Europe does not let them get going.
Yeah.
You have to cause some, and obviously Zach has backup plans if that thing does not get off the mat, but you've got to send them to their backup plan right away. Do not let that pairing get the momentum. If JT gets a vibe and becomes cocky JT, that's a problem for Europe, for anyone
And
betting
he
on
has
Europe.
like a 3-wood into a green, and he gives it a big twirl.
Yeah, he
and
hits
puts it to
that
6
putt like
feet.
that. You need to, he's so good that you can't breathe off. Like, if oxygen gets breathed into that thing, it's like an Undertaker meme.
No,
Like,
I love it. This is a great, like, you have to try to get your best team against.
but if he
JT.
does, let's say he's a dead fish. Let's just go with that for one moment, because I've asked anyone I've done content with this week, where do they go next with Spieth? People have suggested Ricky. But where do they go next with Spieth if Justin ends up being, or if Spieth ends up?
Yeah, I think
Spieth
has a better chance to suck than JT.
So, yeah, okay. So
I think JT's gonna pass.
That's a fun thing too. If JT actually plays great and Spieth is dead weight, like, and I'm sure like this is Ryder Cup captaincy 101 elementary stuff. Having the backup plan. I'm just curious what the backup plan would be. I honestly, as much as I'm picking on Brooks, he to me I would use him to wake up people. Like, I don't know what that means. I might be giving as much as I'm fading Brooks, I'm giving him a hell of a ton of confidence. I'm scared they'll use him effectively. I don't think Zach is going to use him effectively.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that Brooks and Harmon might be an alt shot or four ball. How do you feel about that pairing?
It's like, as someone fading Brooks, I have to think that's a good thing. Like
Yeah,
you just said, the guy I'm fading gets the 12th man on the roster.
yeah.
So based on that, I feel good, but I don't want to use like corny terms. That just seems like a pairing that might be hard to like knock out of a hole. Like, where's the bogey? As much as
They're both pretty good at putting for par.
yeah, that's sort of what I mean. Like, if
I
you
just the thing I'm excited about, I want to see some different pairings. That will get me going, and I know it will get you going as well. Like, if we just have the same standard pairings every single time, I want something new and different. I want a Brooks Scotty. I want a Harman Wyndham Clark. I want a Max fucking.
So what's the most random thing that you think you could want? Because is Brooks Scotty random? I think that might be random, but that's what I think. I don't know. Is that random? Am I being weird? Like, Scotty isn't one of the Florida guys that Brooks sometimes hangs
No,
out
they're
with.
boys. There's a picture of them dapping up after whistling.
Oh, I don't doubt that. Um, but I don't
I
know.
just like
That's-
I just don't know how Brooks. I don't know. I think Brooks is better at
Like, I'm
alt
just trying to think of the
shot.
most random shit possible, and I like Brooks Spieth. I don't know.
Yeah, that could be.
How
Like,
about this, Brian? And it's crazy enough that I fished my wish at whistling because we got it on Sunday. I said, like, if I could ask for one match to get, it was Victor versus Morikawa,
Colin,
and
and they
we
shot like a
actually got
58
that.
best ball.
What is the dream match to get? Like, what is your not even bets, not one that like I can't wait because I see an angle to win money on. Like, what is the perfect match here?
I think like I don't this isn't I don't I can just see this as being two guys that just absolutely light it up. But I would go Homa Hovland. I think both of them could potentially have like Hovland can't really change his career that much this week. But I think they could both have like career altering weeks, and them being on Sunday singles together, I think would be pretty great. But
Okay,
people would be like, "Oh, like Brooks Rory, they're best friends. They're like legit very good friends. Like I don't think there's any drama there. Scotty, he's not that interesting. Xander's not that interesting. Cantley's not that interesting.
Wyndham seems to be like there's always a guy who wants to bravado this thing, which I back. I think it's great for, like you said, we get a lot of content out of this week. We get a lot
Yeah.
of talking points.
Where are you on the Wyndham?
I got no issues. It's Tuesday of a Ryder Cup. Say whatever the hell you want. You want to get a guy. It's a 1 in 12 random draw that you're going to get the guy. Although I guess we assume Rory goes out first because that's like the thing that you're
Yeah,
about
they're not
on
going to send
Sunday.
Wyndham out first. Yeah.
So you could call the shot.
Yeah.
Like Rory's an easy bucket to if the captain wants to give that to you. Brian, the funny thing is about that 2021 matchup that I called for that we wanted, that we got, was almost like me wanting Morikawa was the chosen one in that moment. And it was me as the Hovland stand being like, no, I want that match because I want people to see that like this guy is, I think, just as good. And now it's kind of like now Hovland's having his moment despite no majors. And Morikawa's got two. I still think I want that match again. I'm obsessed with that match.
Yeah, I think Hovland or like
Hovland
Hovland
Morikawa
Scotty,
is a match.
or like Hovland Scotty, I think would be pretty good. Yeah, I'm pretty jazzed up for this week. I think it's gonna be really great, and the losing money on it will be fine. I'm not too
it bleeds into Sunday, Brian.
but truly, I like it's dumb, but I would want Harman to deliver a crucial point on Sunday singles. That would get me the most jazzed. And not truly, but if Harman did something special on Sunday, I would like that just because he's my guy.
Who do you think has the most? Because none of these guys, like of this new guard of USA player, like whose fist pump would you just most love to see in a moment of true brilliance?
I think Homa.
Like,
I keep bringing up Homa, but like I really need him to show up this week. In
Yeah,
my
Homa.
opinion, like flag plant, this Ryder Cup will come down to Colin, Homa, and Wyndham Clark. If like 2 out of 3 of those absolutely fuck ass, I think the US will win.
I will say I have no doubt that if Will Wyndham has a moment of brilliance, like you don't like he's ready to fist pump through a roof. You don't
Yeah.
call Rory out on a Tuesday, like he is and I mean this is like a good thing, and I'm excited just to know how excited they all obviously are. Um yeah. Yeah, we'll see. And I think Zach Johnson's playing checkers, but I assume there's an analytics department. That being said, Brian, we watch a lot of NFL Sunday on football where
Yeah.
we're like, I assume this team has an analytics department. Why are they doing that?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think Padraig Harrington said after whistling that the US has basically copied them and that like their edge is gone in that department. So I think that will be interesting to
Yeah, so
see.
so for as much of the talk of like it being friend pairings and this friend world on
Yeah.
USA and even me with Pat being like, are the US pairings as easy to predict as like Zach is making it, or like it's just the buddy system? Like I guess you said it. You'll like, have confidence maybe if you see some surprises. I
Yeah.
think like that means that they're deep into it.
Especially in four ball. What what friendship matters in four ball? It doesn't matter. You're just going out and making as many birdies as possible.
It's no different than a Thursday
Yeah,
pairing on
like in
tour.
my alt shot, I understand, but four ball, whatever the analytics say is that he birdies one a lot and he birdies two a lot, and they don't birdie the same holes, they birdie different holes. Throw that out. It doesn't matter. They're all close enough. I understand all shot, but four ball should be whatever the analytics say. Jordan and JT should not play four balls together. I don't understand that truly. But Jeff, it was a pleasure. I'm looking forward to tweeting about this at 5 a.m. I wish you the best of luck on all your bets, except for Europe to win. And I wish you the best of luck with your beloved Chargers
Thanks.
this season.
I love it. I'd love a great Sunday. Brian, I'm worried. The one thing about match plays, I feel like we see too many putts on TV and not enough like just
Yeah.
random
Iron
golf
shot.
shot approach shots.
Yeah.
It's just the coverage is like putt to win the hole, putt to tie the hole, putt to lose the hole, yada yada. Yada. I want to see so much. There's so few golfers on a course. There's nothing you shouldn't show me.
100% like a bad drive, an alt shot, a bad drive, the iron shot after a bad drive. That is what I want to see. But I'm excited for we got some fall swing events coming up. I'm excited for those. I'm excited for this Ryder Cup. We will see you next week, Jeff. Pleasure having you on, and I hope everyone has a great night.